Okay, so I am making this video because I just found out that there are people, guys on this channel, who have been watching my videos who still believe that all that is needed to attract and keep women is your finances as a man. Now, where do I start with how wrong this is? Let me give you a very simple example, right? I believe most of us studied chemistry at some point in our lives. And during this study, there would be times when you would have to run or undergo tests for certain chemicals, right? The whole idea of testing for a chemical is the fact that you are not sure if that chemical is present in that mixture or if you want to confirm the presence of that chemical. Why would a woman who according to you guys, all she wants is a man's finances, or that's the most important thing that she wants, why then would she test a man who has been proven to be rich, successful? She sees the cars, she sees the houses. Why then does she test that man? Why? That's not the basis of this video, but in this video, I am going to explain that. The actual topic of this video is 5 first date mistakes that most men make that absolutely destroy their chances of attracting and keeping the women they take on these dates. So make sure you watch till the end. The first mistake is hysteria. Now, according to the dictionary, hysteria means exaggerated or uncontrollable emotion or excitement. What this simply means is when you're hysterical as a guy during the dates, it makes it seem like you've never been there before. And if there's anything that every guy at this point in time should understand about women is experience and competence and having been there before is one of the most attractive traits that women look out for in men. So sometimes a guy can't help it. I mean, a guy who's 21 or 22 with very minimal dating experience, sometimes he can't help that subconscious hysteria, that subconscious over-excitement that he displays to whatever woman he goes out with, right? He might not even know that he's displaying such behaviors. There will be times during a conversation where you don't really have anything to say, and that's fine. You should just let the silence sit. You sit there, you're either looking at her or you're looking at something else, right? But you're comfortable in the silence. A lot of guys, especially more inexperienced guys, can't sit in that silence. They bring up very, unrelated conversation topics because of the discomfort in the silence, right? Because they can't sit down and be absolutely comfortable and not say anything for 30 seconds to a minute. Imagine if you were forced, right, to go on a date with a girl that you have absolutely zero interest in, right? There's a certain energy level you're going to have, right, where you don't really care what the outcome is. You're just there because you were told to be there. However the day goes, it goes. You're not outcome independent, right? That energy is the exact same energy that you want to bring on dates with girls that you actually like. It's just what it is. You might not know that you're acting hysterically, but the girl feels it. She absolutely feels it. And it is a very unattractive energy to, especially on the first date. Like, you need to go on first dates with a very calm, and I think I'll explain this in the next point, so let me not stress it here. But hysteria is generally unattractive to women. The second first date mistake that most men make is they go on these dates with pre-planned lines. What this means is, before the date, you already have it at the back of your mind that you're going to say certain things, and she's going to probably react a certain way, and then you have like a reply for her reply. And the problem with having these pre-planned lines is the discomfort, right? And the lack of, should I say, calmness that you would have while the date is on, because you're constantly thinking of what to say next, what you planned on saying next. Imagine you cram for an examination, for example, right? And you forget 1 or 2 lines. You notice how everything crumbles, as compared to if you understood the topic and you went in there and you're like, I know what I'm here to do. I might not know like word for word what I will say, but I know the point I'm trying to make. It is better you go on a date with a framework or a frame of mind rather than a set of already listed out, questions or conversation topics. It messes things up. You feel super uncomfortable. This is exactly why pickup artistry is an absolute sham, because you tell guys say XYZ, but then the energy with which they say it is the wrong energy. So even if they are saying the right things, it comes off as the wrong thing to the girl, because she's listening to more things than just your words. She's listening to your pitch. She's listening to the comfort with which you talk. She's listening to your your nonchalance to an extent. You feel me? So going on a date with pre-planned lines, you might have the perfect lines to put out there, but that pressure that you feel while talking, she feels it as well. And it is very unattractive to her. The third first date mistake is failing her shit test. Now, I really want to talk about this one because in this point, I'm going to break down why money is really not as important as guys make it seem. We are in a poor country in Nigeria, so it's almost like exaggerated the importance of money in dating and relationships and marriage, but it is not as important as you guys think. There are so many rich men, both popular and unpopular ones. There's Will Smith, there's Stephen Curry, and there's men you watching this right now who are very successful outside their marriage. They have multiple houses, they have multiple businesses, they are very successful, they are leaders of men. But when you walk into their households, the wife has absolutely no respect for them. Like zero respect, right? This is a man who, on paper, has everything that a woman should want. Let us use Will Smith as an example. He's tall, he looks masculine, he's fit most of the time, right? He's extremely rich, he has the status, and his wife hates him. She just does. And leaving celebrities aside, I can guarantee that you watching this, certain men who are bulletproof everywhere in every facet of life, but girls or their woman just does not regard them as much. Why is that? When you look carefully at what a woman tests a man for, that will tell you what her primal need in a man is. If her primal need was money or just height or looks, why doesn't she test for those things? She just knows if you're rich or not. She knows if you're tall or not. She knows if you're fit or not, right? But what she tests for is mental and emotional fortitude, mental and emotional stability. That's what she tests for. That's just it. That is just it, right? And this is exactly why a man who on paper ticks every single box is still disrespected by his woman. Money is going to be able to bring out initial submissiveness in a woman. Just initial, right? But as time goes on and she wakes up beside the man, because what people don't understand is men like Will Smith and so many other rich men out there, right? You guys don't wake up in the same bed as them. You don't spend that much time with them. These women who hate them spend the most time with them. And they know inside out who these men actually are. They know the fabric of men that they are dealing with more than any of us who watch these men online, right? So the disdain that she has for him is that she has tested and tested and tested and come to the realization that he's not as strong as the world thinks he is, mentally and emotionally. He isn't. He just isn't. When a woman believes, right, that she is mentally and emotionally tougher than you, almost everything else doesn't matter anymore. Your money, insignificant. Your looks, insignificant. Your physique, you have a big chest, insignificant. All that becomes insignificant because if she can defeat you here, then everything else is just chaff. Everything else is superficial, right? So money is one of the superficial things that attracts women. Money attracts women. Looks attracts women. Your physique attracts women. But this is the only thing that could genuinely make a woman submit. And that is what she always tests for. Some guys think to make a woman truly submit, you need to find her as a virgin and, take her virginity. 8 out of 10 women, or 9, would lose their virginity to men and absolutely forget about those men. Absolutely forget about them. I'm telling you, so it's none of those things. It is here. It's all here. And that is what she constantly tests for. Women test every single type of man, tall, short, dark, light skin, rich, poor, for only one thing, mental and emotional fortitude and stability. There's different ways to react to a woman's tests. I think 3 specifically, right? The first one is you immediately, right, tell her to not disrespect you again. Like, you make it very clear that you're not taking disrespect. Sometimes you might even have to raise your voice, but you do it like right there and then. That's one. The second is you absolutely ignore. And this is for situations where she's trying to like get a reaction out of you, and it is such an insignificant situation where she's not really disrespecting you. It's just like she's poking you in a way. You ignore all those things. If not, you come out as someone who is easily, someone who's hysterical, someone who's easily affected, right? And then the third one is when you actually have to walk away, which is when there's some form of blatant disrespect that she acts like she doesn't know happened, or she doesn't want to address or apologize about. You absolutely have to walk away in circumstances like that. And you never want to walk away with like hatred or anger, because the thing with walking away with so much negative emotion is you could easily come back, because the thing with like negative emotion is it needs an outlet. And sometimes you might come back because you want her to know what she did. Like, I'm going to tell you what you did. Well, you get like, when you leave, like when you walk away, it has to be you walking away because you love yourself, walking away because you're maintaining your self-respect, not because you hate the girl. Because if you absolutely hate the girl, you will come back. Or even if you don't come back, there'll be so many subliminal signs. There'll be so many subliminal signs that you're pissed. You would see, in Nigeria specifically, you would see guys who post on their status stuff that technically is about their girl, but they won't direct it to her, right? But they know she sees it. So what causes that is the excess negative emotion that they have in them. So they have to use their WhatsApp status as an outlet, and they come out and they say negative stuff, or women this, women that, when realistically they're talking about just one woman, and it's their girl, the one who slide them. Before I forget, I actually have a video coming up on this, but let me just give like a hint. One of the biggest tests you will see a woman play on a man, right? And you would see this, it happens to mostly successful men, right? A man who has literally everything, all the boxes checked. He's tall, he's rich, he's attractive, he's charismatic, he's confident, right? There's women, because believe it or not, women get very insecure, right? Because of her insecurity, right? She makes it seem like everything he has is absolutely nothing. Like she doesn't care, right? And what happens is, men who are not truly mentally and emotionally stable, they begin to second guess themselves. Like, am I really enough for this girl? When in reality, if these men just walked away, she's probably never finding a man exactly like you ever again, right? But that's the test in itself. That's the manipulation, right? 8 out of 10 men, even with everything they've accomplished and everything they have, good physique, good face, a lot of money, confidence, they still come back and overinvest in that woman. In a woman who, in her head, she's like, man, this dude is probably above me, like way higher in the sexual marketplace than I am. But she makes it seem like he isn't, to the point that he comes in and he starts over-validating, over-texting, over-trying, right? And it eventually leads to loss of attraction. The fourth mistake men make on first dates is giving her unearned status. In Nigeria specifically, one of the most popular topics on relationship Twitter or relationship Instagram is how our women are very entitled. They ask for too much. They could meet a man just a week ago and they're already asking for a very exorbitant amount of money. And in as much as this is true, something we don't talk about is, are these men, right, the men who women ask for money too soon or demand for too much, when these men oblige and give these women what they want, are these men rewarded? Are they? They are not rewarded. Guys look too much at what women ask for rather than what women reward in men, or what women react positively to in men. regardless of how women might hide it, women understand fairness. Like, they genuinely know what is fair and what isn't fair. Regardless of what they say, regardless of how unfair some of their demands might be, they always reward fairness. What I'm trying to say is, when you go on a date with a girl and already you're showering her with too many compliments, you're already calling her your girl, you're already making it like, even though you are a guy that in her head she sees going somewhere with, right? In her head, she hopes it works out in the long term. The fact that too soon, you're already giving out too much validation, you're already putting her like in a position that she doesn't even believe she has earned. She feels some type of way about it. It's strange. Like, this is not how it should be. She could even ask for it, right? But when she gets it, it's like, I don't know. Like, there's something off with this guy. Because the thing about women is, they might not be able to verbally explain stuff they don't like about men. But when you look at the trends and the patterns, you as a logical thinking being, you understand why she doesn't like certain men. It is absolutely... I have a perfect example for this, right? If a woman offends you, and it depends on the offense, right? If she does something super offensive, like really offensive, and you're able to forgive in like a minute, you would see that same woman, right? She would be on her WhatsApp status saying, oh, there's nothing I love more than a forgiving man. I love men who are forgiving, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that you forgave her that quickly for something that was probably super offensive and annoying, initially, she's happy. Oh, wow, he forgave me. She's happy, right? But subconsciously, she's like, oh no, there's something up with that. It's strange. It is unfair. It is just in life, it is not fair. You get? So just that is unattractive to her. It is. And it also pushes her to do even more stupid stuff. Because she's like, at what point is this dude going to draw the line? Can I really just get away with whatever it is I do? Regardless of what it is, he forgives me in like less than a day. I'm telling you. So what you should look at is not just what women say, but what they reward. Women don't reward simps. It's just true. You'd hear all over the internet, women love bad boys. I don't know if it's bad boys they love, but they like guys who are fair. And fairness is, if you do X, you get Y. If you fuck around, you find out. That's fairness. So when on the first date, you already seem too, should I say too sure that that's your girl, she feels some type of way because in her head, she hasn't really earned that yet. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It go be.